2414 is a podcast about finding hope and common ground through casual conversation. Like the friends on the road in the New Testament, in Luke chapter 24, verse 14, we want to walk away with more understanding that leads to more conversation as the journey continues. Thanks for walking with us.
Hey, welcome to 2414. My name's Dan. I am sitting in, what do we call this, the captain's chair? I'm sitting by the buttons today because Shane is not with us, but I have I don't know what your official title now is, Brenda. You're not just a friend of the show.
I'm okay with friend of the show.
All right. You've graduated from guest to special person to special friend to friend of the show and to rival for the second seat.
Oh.
And climbing the corporate ladder that is our podcast.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. So that's Brenda. And we have with us today Gail and Stephanie. Gail, currently you live in Spokane?
Well, technically Spokane Valley.
Spokane Valley. All right. I know the difference.
Okay.
I lived in Coeur d'Alene for 5 years.
That's right.
And the valley is like taking over. Because there used to be a gap between Coeur d'Alene and Spokane. And now it's just solid all the way. And Stephanie lives in Bonnie Lake. All right. Washington. Very cool. Today we're going to be talking about Lutheran Church Charities K-9 Comfort Dog Ministry. And you may have heard of that. Maybe you never have, but we're going to have some conversation around it. But before that, highs and lows as a chance to share real life experiences that are maybe difficult, more joyful, a chance to weep with those who weep, rejoice with those who rejoice. I'm going to go first, not because I need to go first in everything, but in an attempt to be nice and give you a chance to think. So for my low, this one feels easy right now, is time change. That hour of sleep. And it's not even the hour of sleep. It's just nighttime now when I wake up again. So that, and feeling a little bit off. So Sunday morning, I also don't ever know if my watch is going to adjust automatically or not.
Did it this time?
It did.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know that it's ever failed me, but I'm nervous every time because I don't remember, does it change or does it change later? And because I work on Sunday mornings, I can't leave that to total chance. And so I always wake up early just in case it didn't. So time change is a bit of a low right now. And I've had such a extra busy weekend. It's Lent. There have been a couple funerals in the last month. I have not been running as consistently as I would like to. So I think some of my previous highs have been, I'm running just like I want to. This week it's, I'm not running. But I'm kind of proud of the fact that I'm not overdoing it. It'd be easy to be a slave to my training schedule and overdo it and get injured. So I'm proud that I've been responsible, but I'm disappointed I haven't been running. High for the week really is I'm so thankful for my coworkers. I'm thankful for our team here at St. Luke's. We had a funeral this weekend and the family was loved and their guests were loved and taken care of. And the team showed up as they always do. And I'm reminded of how much I enjoy working together. And I know that not everybody has that. I think a lot of people have coworkers or bosses or managers or direct reports who aren't on the same team and pulling in the same direction. And we work hard around here and we laugh a lot and we have fun. So that's my highs and lows. Brenda, over to you. Lows, highs. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I think low for me is probably all the fun hormones that come with pregnancy. And I think I've been feeling extra sensitive the last few days, like just feeling upset towards my husband Adam over things that aren't a huge deal. So I'm not feeling good about that. I should probably clue him in a little bit more and apologize. Specifically 2 nights ago, I'm like, I kind of shut myself away. So that's a low. But high is dinner last night was really good. Adam is a really good cook. I helped him a little bit in the kitchen. He usually does all the cooking, but he made pad thai, and we've been doing a lot more vegetarian dinner. So it's pad thai with tofu, like not any kind of meat. And I made the peanut sauce, and it was very good.
Okay. I've never made pad thai.
It didn't take as long as I thought it would, but it was fun to like dip the different things in the different sauces. So that was a high. Yeah. It was a good meal.
All right. Very, very exciting. And how many days, weeks? How are you counting down? What are you measuring with? How many appointments you have left?
I did count that this morning, but no, I've got about 6.5 weeks left. Oh. Yep. And according to one of my apps, baby is the size of a ferret.
Oh.
So yeah, I stopped counting with the vegetables because it got kind of repetitive, but I like counting with the animals. One of my apps does that. So there's a ferret inside of me.
That's that's the stuff of nightmares, Brenda. I mean, it's a beautiful miracle of God and but
also freaky.
Really strange. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Gail, welcome.
Thank you.
You came all the way from Spokane Valley just to hang out with us.
I flew. It's quick.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Lows, highs from the last 10 minutes or day or week or month?
Sure. I'm a new grandma.
Yay, congrats.
So my granddaughter was born the day after Thanksgiving. I say it was my mashed potatoes that really just put her over the edge.
Is this number one?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay.
And my daughter-in-law, her mama is so kind to me. It just is amazing. I have pictures on my phone that she sends me every day. Mm-hmm. So, and they live 10 minutes from us. So it's hard to be, wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. Knit together. Low, I'm a teacher and I have some kids going through a couple of them are going through some really hard things. Yeah. So just knowing how to support them and encourage them and help them, it's tough.
Yeah. What level or?
4th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. And I, like you, I teach at a Christian school and have an amazing team who are so supportive and we love each other. It's a Christian school. We pray together and share, but those kids kind of become family to you. And when they're having some rough things, it's hard.
Yeah. And you can't fix everything or anything.
Right.
As much as you're in the classroom with them, it's still just a small fraction of their life.
Trying to give them the tools to be equipped to handle what's on their plate.
Yeah. Well, thanks for caring.
Yeah.
That's significant. Stephanie, over to you. Lows, highs. How are you doing?
Well, I was very intrigued by your low because my high is it is great joy that I have an extra hour every evening.
Okay, so evening daylight.
It's like a holiday.
Okay,
to have
that's awesome.
Daylight savings time, and just to be able to leave the light. Yeah, not close up the house so soon.
You're feeling that already?
Oh, I think even though it's been cloudy,
but we've had like one night, right? Like we've had one evening. Yeah, yesterday. So we're recording this on Monday. So yesterday was the first time we had this, and you're already reaping the benefits
and the anticipation.
I'm happy for you.
This weekend, almost 70 degrees, and I've got my list of what I'm going to get outside and do and get done. Okay. And
I did see that the weather's going to be nice this next weekend. Yeah,
70s, and I'm excited about that.
Okay, so time change is your high.
Yeah,
that's allowed.
Yeah,
we can still be friends.
There's and another high. I had Gail came, of course, and has been with me 4 days. So it's a low to we're heading back to the airport after this, and so it's always nice to have friends gather. And then it's like, are we not going to see each other for months? But we text or message every day. So we have a core group of friends that have been just very important to me. So that's been highs and lows there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So our conversation today is around, it's kind of a very specific thing. Lutheran Church Charities is just like it sounds. It's an organization that tries to love people well. It's run by Lutherans in Illinois, is that right? Yeah. If you're connected to the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, it is an RSO. Is that rostered or registered service organization? Recognized service organization? I don't know. So they do good work. And my main encounters with Lutheran Church Charities is through their K-9 comfort dog ministry. And Gail, you've been a part of this for how long?
Ooh, it's got to be coming up on 5 years.
So for 5 years, and have you had the same role with K-9 Comfort Dog Ministry that whole time?
Yeah.
So yes. I would wager that most of the people who are listening to this have no idea what we're talking about. So like from just a very far away
elevator
pitch, what is Lutheran Church, Charities, K-9 Comfort Dog Ministry?
So if you've watched the news on big tragedies, you'll see the dogs. Like they went to Texas on that huge shooting. Anytime there's a big tragedy, they get invited. And all those that are close enough go. And so there'll be 7 or 8 dogs. Uvalde, I think there were about 7 or 8 dogs, and they stayed 2 weeks to just help those grieving families and those that were left behind. So that's part of what they do with the dogs is they deploy. We call that a deployment.
Okay.
And then they're also just in their community serving those that are in need of comfort.
So is this people who have pets at church?
Sure.
They bring their dogs?
Oh, sure.
No.
So each dog is owned by a congregation.
Okay.
And that's always kind of funny because the dog lives with my husband and I. And they're always like, is it your dog? No, it belongs to our church. Huh? Like, it's our church's dog. And so congregations purchase these dogs. They have, 2,000 hours of training. They come when they're about 2 years old. And they are ready to hit the road when you get them. So we say we're just trying not to break him. We keep up on the training because he came fully trained. He was ready to go. And so the congregation purchases the dog, and then they have freedom to say, I want my dog to be helping with this ministry or that ministry.
So when there's a national tragedy or local tragedy and a dog is deployed to go there, what's actually happening? What is the dog doing, or what are the people around the dog doing?
Sure. I'm thinking of the pictures. So I haven't done a tragedy deployment, but I'm thinking of the Las Vegas shooting where they sent a bunch of dogs there, and somebody from our team happened to be in Las Vegas when that happened. And so he stepped right in because he was a handler. He could hold a leash, stepped right in with the other dogs. And there's a lot of pictures of people like crying, weeping, just laying on the dog. And that, Stephanie has some stats about how it calms you down. Do you guys have dogs? Do you have a dog?
I don't know.
Do you have a dog?
We are dog sitting for the week, and that's a temporary thing. Yeah.
But if you have a dog, you know that when you're petting it, you just feel yourself calming down, and it helps. It opens people up to conversation. Like, while I'm petting your dog, I feel good about, you're a dog person. You just must be good, right? And they just open up to you and allow you to hear their story and allow you to listen is what we do a lot of.
We had some guests on the show maybe a year ago now, David and Lori, and they don't have children, and they said, dogs and kids are the best way to meet people out in the world.
Yes.
So true.
Yep.
If you don't have a dog or a kid, you're just a weirdo.
Yeah.
But if you have a baby in a stroller or a dog on a leash,
You can go to a park
you can
and not be
make friends.
Yeah.
So this you've experienced that, and it's not just a dog, but it's a professionally trained for thousands of hours dog.
We serve a God who loves individuals. Does that make sense? Like he loves corporately, like God so loved the world, but he loves each person too. And he's so specific. It amazes me. When we were here with the dog to show you guys what he did, we stopped in Ellensburg for lunch, and we drove the whole strip looking for an outside sitting just because he would be more comfortable. And we drove it. Nope, didn't see anything. So we went back to Subway. We get out of the car. Julie was with me. I
know where that Subway is.
I forgot his vest. So she went back to the car. So I'm just walking him in, and this young man comes out, and he's like, that's a beautiful dog. And anyway, we ended up praying with him. He was in a sad place, with friendships, and so we're just talking to him, and finally it was like, one thing we say a lot of is there something we could pray about with you? And so he shared, and then he's like, can we pray right now? Yeah. So, I mean, just that one person, we could have missed him, but we didn't. And that if I'd been alone, he wouldn't have come up to me and said, could you pray for me? Right?
Hey, lady at this
Yeah.
subway.
Hey, 60-ish year old lady. I'm 20. Can you know what I mean?
Yeah, never would have happened.
Yeah. So God is
Even
good.
if you had like a church name badge, probably all the more it wouldn't have happened.
No. Yeah. No.
But he opened that door.
He opens doors.
Well,
Yeah.
very cool. And so across from Gail, sitting next to me is Stephanie, who is a member here at St. Luke's, who is going to be St. Luke's top dog, which is quite the title.
I think I already am, just to
Okay.
say, just to confirm. I put the work in. No.
What I was trying to say is St. Luke's is currently in a process, for those of you listening, we are currently in the process of entering into this ministry, and yet it's a long process and there are a lot of steps. So I'm trying to speak reservedly in the sense of we don't have a dog in hand, but positively that we're making progress and we're in the process. But it's more than just we hope this is going to happen, but also it's not something that is signed, sealed, delivered, puppies here.
Exactly.
So-
and that's the main reason I wanted, like, let's do a podcast so we can make sure people in our congregation really know where we are in this phase of attaining a dog one day.
So apart from kind of the in the weeds details, what is the top dog? And Gail mentioned some statistics maybe that you have, or maybe you don't have those in front of you. Sorry, I should
Just
put you on the
petting,
spot.
the calming.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is.
So what you've been identified as by this church as somebody who would be a great point person for this ministry, and for some reason you said yes.
Exactly.
I'd be curious what that reason is, and where you are in that process.
Yeah. Well, knowing Gail and having listened to her the last 5 years about Isaac and what she gets to
That's their
experience.
comfort dog.
Yes.
Okay. Not her husband or a student.
Isaac. Isaac, the comfort dog. After listening to her, and I was so excited when she said, can we come stay with you and bring Isaac so that our church can have a fair September, what do we call that?
It's like a ministry kickoff.
Yeah. And so I signed my email along with everyone else that was like, well, let me find out more. Went to the information meeting and it was like, I am available. I have time. I know this ministry works. I've seen and heard from Gail. So I'll do top dog. Sign me up. Let me go. So February 13th and 14th, I went to Chicago, actually Northbrook, which is a little bit north of Chicago, and met the amazing people that really are the driving force for the K-9 ministry. And Donna and Anastasia, there were 8 other top dogs there with me learning together. And most of them were there for their second dog, which was just wonderful for me to hear from them what their church is already experiencing and that they're ready even for a second dog. This would be the first LCC, Lutheran Church Charities dog in the Puget Sound area and Portland and Oregon for that matter. So
right now we are the only dog in the Pacific Northwest.
So Spokane.
Mm-hmm. So there are none in Idaho or Montana or North and South Dakota, Wyoming. I mean, they're just, there's quite a few in California, but
the hearing and seeing that possibility, the top dog position is now, we don't have a dog yet, obviously. Otherwise, we would be celebrating in a different way. My job right now is to get that team together. Who's going to step up to go out into this ministry? One of the main things I heard at that session, that training, was the dog cannot bring Jesus to people. It is the people that we need. So, I'm looking for people that love Jesus, that want to be involved in a praying ministry, that are wanting to fulfill our mission to seek out and bring people to a relationship with Jesus Christ as their Savior and Lord. It's like, what other way to step into, like, imagine almost anyone who's listening, where do you go during the day that have people that are hurting that we could take a dog to?
And these are all golden. I'm trying to get visual.
Yes,
all golden retrievers. So, so imagine. So where are you going in your normal life? What if you had a 2,000 hour trained service dog, golden retriever, right there. Its harness says something like "Please pet me." Yeah, and it's a beautiful and perfectly behaved dog. You were smiling and open to people visiting with you. Imagine where you go and who might come up and just say, "Can I pet your dog?"
Yes.
And what might happen with that.
And that opens doors that are, Yeah, going back to kind of to LCC, I know they started in 2008 with the K-9, and their kind of pivotal moment was going to Sandy Hook. We all know the tragedy in Sandy Hook, and they were there up to 4 weeks, different teams going in, and they were invited to stay. And that's maybe something else, is to make sure that everyone knows that we go where we're invited. But if we have connections, like whether it's to Mirror Lake or Concordia Christian Academy in Tacoma, or
a retirement facility,
or court systems, or who do we know that will get our
first
name?
Responders.
Yes, yeah. Do we have people in our congregation that'll be like, I think I have a place. Let me get you connected with a person that can invite us. And off and running we go to those places. And, going back kind of just to logistically, it's kind of imagine, timeline. I'm not sure. I can't tell you when we're going to get a dog, except for I know we can get the caretaker together. I should back up. Sorry. There are different roles that I need to make sure we have in place. One would be the caretaker, 2 to 3 homes where the dog will live.
And Gail, that's what
we do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 10 handlers that will need to be trained for that dog. And those are the only people that hold the leash. The majority of our team will be ministry partners, people that are willing, because they always go out in at least 2s. Do you ever have 3, Gail?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm. So people going out into those places where we are invited. And then once we have those people set up, that's when we can say we're ready to be trained by LCC. And then we wait to see when they have a dog. My hope is maybe there's a dog right now in training. That is, while we're being trained, that dog is being trained, and we won't know if it's male or female, what his or her name is. But that dog eventually will come here and live with our caretakers and be ready for ministry.
Yeah.
So, and then what does that look like? That's where it's fun to imagine. Maybe 2 years from now, like Gail, you want to tell us, what does Isaac do? You want to run through a quick schedule?
Sure. So he does live with us, but as I said, I'm a teacher. My husband works, so people come in our house every day. I walk him in the morning. They come, get in through our garage, and take him wherever they go. So he does nursing homes. He does Ronald McDonald House, which is really sweet. There's a lot of those children. There's babies, but there's also children who have left their dogs at home. And, when you're hurting, never, ever in all the 5 years when I've ever said to somebody, can I pray for you or with you? No one's ever said no. Some people are, yes, pray right now in my face, kind of, I want to hear you. And some people are like, yeah, this is, what I would like you to pray about. And then he does a boys ranch, which is for kids who are not placeable in foster care and have no parent to speak of. So it's kind of an orphanage.
Yeah.
And those kids, they'll just lay on him and cuddle him, and it's beautiful.
So how long what does that look like when you say he does this ranch? Is it like 10 minutes?
Sure.
Is it 2 days straight? What are they?
It's once a week, Monday nights, Monday afternoons after school for him. An hour, depending on, he can do much longer, obviously, but depending on how their schedule works. But most of the places we go, it's about an hour. Okay. He goes to the nursing homes. He goes to Union Gospel Mission, Women's Crisis Shelter. He goes to hospice house, which a lot of that time, really, he's comforting the staff as much as he is the people who are coming in and out of there. He goes to the 911 call center. We have a retired policeman on our team.
So there's the dog, a handler, and one or two maybe ministry partners. And so the 2 or 3 adults and the dog walk into a place, and I'm picturing, people are on their knees, maybe just petting the dog, or they're waiting to pet the dog, and so they're talking to you or somebody else.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So those the handler's responsibility is the dog. Is he safe? Is he comfortable? Is he able to do what he does right now? And the ministry partner's job is to listen, talk, hear, engage, I guess. Yeah. I mean, not that the handler doesn't do that, obviously, but their first responsibility is the dog. Oh. Yeah.
Brenda, as you've been helping make this happen and lead it and thought about ministry at St. Luke's, are there specific things in our context where you are excited to see this happen?
Yeah, I think schools in particular, both, we have a school here at church and a childcare, and I can totally see our own Isaac here in the mornings when kids are arriving, when their parents are here, as well as at a school. Stephanie, you mentioned at Mirror Lake. It's a public elementary school about a block away from St. Luke's, and there are kids there that are also hurting, that are struggling with behavior issues, different things where we could provide so much support for the staff if we could be there in a room and say, hey, on Mondays from this hour to this hour, we'll be in your office. And so that kid that's like throwing a tantrum, running up and down the hall, what if they came here and it helped kind of de-escalate some of that? That's some of the first things that come to mind where it'd be really helpful for kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even though it's a public school, every dog has a Bible verse as part of their name that every handler, ministry team person will memorize, and it helps kind of break the ice. One of the things that was shared at our training was the greatest compliment is the kid saying, oh, here comes that Jesus dog.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, even though they know we're from a church, and therefore, yes, they know what we stand for, and or that can come through. And yes, helping staff. I mean, obviously we both know teachers are in just of need of that comfort and support.
Yeah, for the teachers as well as the students who are going through hard times.
Sure.
I've looked in the eyes of many a weary teacher wondering how they're going to make it through this day or this week. And so to have a break of, I'm just going to, pet this beautiful dog or tell the hard things to the dog, and it's not going to go anywhere because the dog's going to keep my secrets.
Have you found, you said you don't go anywhere where you're not invited. So once there's those connections and you're invited to a school or Ronald McDonald House, have you found that the open door there then leads to other connections of them saying, you know what, we know this other place that you could start going to?
Sure. I think that's what opened the door for Isaac going on Honor Flight. If you're familiar with Honor Flight, it's for veterans. They can fly for free to Washington, D.C., and they see all the monuments. The Vietnam vets struggle with the wall, and Isaac goes on the plane, he lays on the floor, and then the mental health support that's on the flight, he'll come and get him. Isaac's needed an aisle, seat 3, aisle, whatever, off we go. But that opened up because of our time at the 911 call center. And so, yeah, if you can get a veteran on your team or somebody who's first responder, it opens a lot of doors. Yeah. They like to have a veteran because they understand the veteran perspective.
Yeah, so I'm seeing lots of ways to connect with the community as well as the congregation. So this last Sunday morning, we had a newly formed prayer team available for prayer at the end of service up front, and I could imagine an Isaac up there. And so the announcement is, hey, thanks for coming to church today. If you'd like to pray or pet Isaac, there's a team of people over here.
There'd be a line of people.
He's a big hit at our vacation Bible school.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
He sits in the nurse's office, and the kids who are struggling with either owies or just being away from home or, come and love on him. He's a big hit at church with the kids. I mean, so many parents say, this is what gets our kids out of the door in the morning. Is Isaac going to be there? And our pastor laughs because Isaac has perfect attendance because it's always a different handler who's bringing him. So, the kids just run in the door and, Isaac!
I mean, our kids were so excited when you brought Isaac to visit just for the one day.
Yeah.
And
it was 1 hour, one day.
I know. And they thought that was our dog. We had to break it to him. Like, that's not our dog.
It's not. It's just out of the ordinary, right? I mean, people in our congregation do bring their dogs if they're support dogs, or we have one I can think of that's constantly there with her dog, but it's not like it's her dog, right? This is our dog.
Yeah. Well, that I know that was a big point. Is they said it's a working dog. It's not a therapy dog. It's not a service dog. He's working 5-6 days a week out in the community.
He's not the church's pet.
No, not a pet.
You're not
right.
mascot for that church.
He's not my dog. He's not your dog.
Right.
He doesn't
Right.
belong to any of us. He would belong to St. Luke's and, like say, those 10 different handlers. Yeah.
And you mentioned that it's a working dog. I think it's probably worth commenting on the fact that he also has time off.
Oh, yes.
Right. So what
He's
does
still
that
a
look?
dog.
What does that look like? Did you get that in your top dog training in terms of, or maybe Gail, you could speak to what the rhythms are for a dog who's working sometimes, and also just a dog.
Yeah. Well, and we met 6 of the dogs in training, and we saw them working. And then once they take their vest off, either playing ball, but then they had a yard they could go play in, because it was a church. It was probably a daycare or Sunday school. So there was agility course out there for them, and they were playing together, and their dogs 100% just enjoying life.
They call it a paycheck.
Yes.
So, after he works, he gets to play ball or he gets a massage, which is just a glorious way of saying get a good petting. Yeah. But I was sharing with Stephanie, I took him to a pretty emotional funeral that we were invited to at our church. Not members. I didn't know anybody there. But he took in a lot of pain. You don't maybe think about it, but he does absorb that. It's emotional for him
they can
too.
feel people's grief and hurt.
Yeah, they're laying on him weeping, and I had to do a long paycheck for myself. We walked for a good hour afterwards just to clear my mind, and and he loves to walk. So yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog. He can do naughty things that I can't say because LCC might be listening.
He's a dog, yeah. But that reminds me, so as the dog can take on people's hurt, part of what we've been talking about is caring for like children in distress or people who are grieving a shooting at their school, but there's also all the people who are caring for those people. So the teachers and the first responders are bearing so much grief as they interact with hurting people that they need to offload that and share that burden.
And that's why you work on it as a team.
Yeah.
I mean, when we have our meetings, we share highs and lows. We talk about, this was really hard. We talk about the dog and, all the things dog, but we also talk about, well, where are you in this? And it's a small group.
Yeah.
We Bible study together and just support each other. And
I'm imagining, and maybe I'm wrong about all this, but I'm imagining that having the dog and having the structure to share those things sort of helps develop the skills that maybe those same 10 adults wouldn't have done otherwise. And or you mentioned, praying with somebody at Subway. Now, you're still a 60-something-year-old woman, and 20-year-olds is not going to come ask you to pray. But my wondering or guess is that after 5 years of time with Isaac, you might be a little more bold to say to somebody, hey,
your
can
waitress,
I pray for you?
Yeah.
Even if the dog's not there.
Yeah, you do.
So you're growing in your faith and your connection with others, even when the dog's not present. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Oh, yes, very much so. Yes. And like I said, no one's ever said no, which I don't know if we were, as a people, afraid of that. Like, I don't want to offend you by saying I could pray with you, but no one ever.
It's almost like going on an overseas mission trip, and then you realize, I could do that at home too.
Sure.
It's a catalyst to give you a perspective of, that's actually, I'm always in these places. It's just easier to see when I'm in Kenya.
We had our first official meeting last Monday, and 15 people showed up. I was so excited that people showed up. And, I think St. Luke's, especially once we get the word out, that we're really just looking for people that can be present. And yes, that fear of, can I pray for you? But maybe more those that are just ready to listen, those that are available. We need all shifts. That's one of the things they said is there's some people that work the night shift that maybe they need to be reached too. So available
doesn't mean retired.
No.
Oh, no, nobody. Well, 2 of the people on our team are retired. The rest of us work.
Yeah.
So.
And does the dog go with people to their workplaces sometimes?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Well, except our pastor.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a school too. So, and the doors that's open because you get a lot of parents who are hurting for whatever reason and might not open up.
Yeah. So it's definitely looking for people who can listen, who care, who...
Well, and then with our meetings, right now we're meeting twice a month until we get a dog, and they'll probably go down to once a month, possibly. But that's what I plan to be doing, is looking at resources. LCC has one, spiritual first aid, that we'll be using. Other books about just how to care for people, how to listen, things to say, things not to say to those that are grieving. But just kind of equipped us, and that's what our training will be.
Can people, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but can people who have no interest in being part of the dog ministry come to those classes?
Oh, please.
Those just sound like beautiful things.
Yes.
Of how do we help people who are grieving? Oh, that's good for the church.
I actually, we were talking in the car here. I was like, I don't want to say this, but maybe I will. Because I think people are
It's my mantra. I live by such statements.
Be bold.
I'm going to be saying it.
Just say it.
Because people here, we're in a dog ministry, and there are many people that are not dog people.
Yeah, they smell. They're hairy.
Yeah. Well, don't look at the dog.
And
look at the
poop.
people.
And they poop. My daughter said it's steamy. I'm like, yep. That was we're dog sitting for the week, and she's like, and the pee was steamy too. I'm like, yeah. Welcome to. So anyway, yes, dogs are dogs, and not for everybody.
Let's talk, because Telly knows you, and I need a dog sitter. So there we go. I'll hook up with a cute dog. No, in fact, let me look through my list here. We need, besides the caretakers, the handlers, ministry partners, we need people writing thank you letters. We need help with maybe eventually fundraising, people that can be in charge of our social media, sewing, maybe doing embroidery. We do need to find a groomer, a veterinarian, maybe a scheduling, someone maybe make agility, construction equipment. It's more than just here's a person at the end of a leash.
So if I say I already have pets at home, I can't have another pet, or I really don't feel comfortable
I'm allergic.
handling the leash, I'm allergic, but I want to support. It's sounding like there's lots of other ways for people to be involved.
Oh, yes. I think there's countless. And I think we'll get down to a core team eventually, kind of like I was saying the other night. It depends on who shows up, who is going to stay with us. And yes, we're going to plan some fun things, especially towards summer. Like, let's get together. How can we support one another in preparation? And yes, even without the dog, we're going to do something. And that's what our next meeting, little plug for March 18th, 6:30 in the chapel here at St. Luke's.
That's Monday?
Monday night, 6:30. I know there's an ELT team.
Yeah, we have our board meeting that night.
Yeah, well.
So Monday? That's okay.
I'm
Monday,
going to be
March 18th.
flexing because I didn't know this.
17 then. Today's the 11th, right?
Today's Monday.
So it's 18?
18th.
Yeah, Monday,
Monday, March 18th. Yeah. But we're going to be, starting the brainstorming of where can we go in the community? Where do these people, because like Gail has said, when someone comes, they're probably going to be committing to maybe one day a week. And if their heart is with elderly, then that's what they'll do only.
Great.
If their heart is with kids, then you'll do this once a week or every other week. There's different ways, but that person will not be holding the leash or even petting a dog out in public or picking up poop.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Everybody takes a turn at that.
Okay.
It's crosses to bear. Before I forget to say this, I want to recognize that many or some people who are listening or watching right now might not be in Western Washington or part of our St. Luke's community. Mm-hmm. And if that's you, you can Google Lutheran Church Charities. I'm not. Is it lcc.com
Comfort
or
Dogs.
org? But if you Google LCC Comfort Dog or Lutheran Church Charities K-9 Comfort Dog,
there's 130 of them in America.
Yes, 130, and I think it's 22 states.
do you know if the website allows you to find churches that have one
don't
near
know.
you? Okay.
I do know.
Maybe they could email
Oh yeah.
the Lutheran Church Charities K-9 Comfort Dog Ministry and say, hey, I'm in Rochester, Minnesota. Where is the closest one of
Sure.
these? I want to get involved.
Sure.
And the LCC will help you, I assume, find a local.
One of the things that they have a national convention, which is super fun. If you can imagine 100 golden retrievers in a Sheraton hotel in Chicago, with and they all just walk by each other. No one cares. You get 10 dogs in an elevator. No one cares. But they would have an open house, and people from all over the country who had been moved by these dogs or helped by these dogs would come to that open house, and the dogs would all sit in a circle in the middle of many ballrooms, and the people would walk around the outside and pet them all. It was just crazy of, where are you from? And they, you're in Chicago. So, well, I'm from Nevada, and you guys helped me. And so
That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
The other thing for people looking is if they're on Facebook, if in the search you type in Comfort Dog, they will probably come up. But all 120, in fact, even as
Puppies.
soon as they're 4 weeks old and they head into training, they're given a name and a Facebook page. So our future dog might already have
Start
thousands of
Facebook stalking.
Might
followers.
already be on there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm following all of them to see where they end up.
That's outstanding. Brenda, you were going to say something a second ago.
Oh, I think I have seen locations on the website.
Okay.
So I think that there is a way to see there's this many in California, there's this many in this state. And I think I've also seen that, like their pictures, and you can start looking through, and they're different colored bandanas, they're different names. So
It's surprising how many people show up at our church because of the dog.
Oh,
Like we
interesting.
looked online and saw you had a dog, and we're visiting from wherever, and we
that
wanted
was
to
the
meet your
draw
dog.
to
Yeah,
come in.
probably 2 weeks ago we had some family from Texas who just ran right in and went, oh.
Oh, that's very cool.
It was a suggestion, again, at training, that on your staff page, they have the dog.
Oh, that's
Oh, they would
on
totally
the
be there.
website.
Yes.
Yeah,
right
on the
above lead
website.
pastor for sure.
right above.
He has a lot more hair.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Wow. There it is. All right. That's our time, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm kidding. Stephanie, what's next? So
What's
Monday
next?
the 18th.
Monday
and
the
out of
18th.
that, are you looking for a lifelong commitment from people, for a 10-year commitment? Are you trying to fill certain spots, or are you looking for contacts in the community? What's next?
Pretty much all of those is true. I am looking to fill those few certain roles, but then I'm also looking for that unlimited number of possibility of people that are like, I believe in this too. I want to be involved. And maybe it's just making treats and you want to come to the meetings and hang out and bring treats to either to us or to future locations that we go to, that it's at whatever point they choose they're comfortable that they want to really apply for.
Can people come and ask questions, or are you mainly looking for commitments at this meeting?
That's a good question. No, come and just find out who we are. And if you're interested and we're having fun at the meetings and you want to hang out, that's great. Come be part of our team. If you are going to be a handler, a caretaker, we're really looking for at least 2-year commitment.
Okay.
But that's going to be a total of probably only, those 10 people.
So top dog is your position, who is getting trained first, sort of representing St. Luke's as an organization as it relates to Lutheran Church Charities as an organization. And your top dog is also your recruiting and putting together a team and kind of a ministry plan. Mm-hmm. And what was the host family called? I'm sorry. Caregiver. So that's a family or two or maybe even three where the dog, there's a primary residence, but if Gail's out in Hawaii for a month, the dog needs a place to go. Teacher, right? Isn't that what you do every summer?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So there's the caregiving family where the dog lives. Then there are handlers. You said there's 10 of those.
Mm-hmm.
They are the people who pick up the dog Monday morning, take the dog to its first appointment. And then there's the ministry team.
Yeah, ministry team.
Ministry team is another person or two, kind of a giant pool of people. They're not the ones who are responsible for the dog at home or on the leash. They're the ones who are meeting people, talking to people, accompanying the dog. Maybe they're standing quietly in the background for a while, but as people visit with Isaac, they say, "Hi, my name's Sally," or "You can pet Isaac. That's what he's here for." And they're making introductions.
That's what he's doing, yeah.
And the ministry partner, I can see they would be the one that goes into the building first. Just want to make sure they're checking in, saying we're here, making sure if it's a school, it's not lunchtime, the kids have peanut butter all over their hands or on the floor. Just kind of or when we went to the assisted living, it's like, there's a dog down here in this room, just be aware. So the ministry partner is just observing and watching and making sure, yes, these are things that we need to be aware of.
We ask them to hold the kids' cookies or donuts while they're petting the dog because they walk up and he's a dog.
It's a dog. It's still a dog.
Oh, there's a cookie. I want a cookie. I want a waffle.
My kids might do the same thing.
Yeah. They give it back though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What were you going to say, Stephanie?
Oh, well, no, I think it just goes back to, I'm excited. I think if anyone is hearing this, and especially member of St. Luke's, email the church or email me if you can find my email, or we can put it in the...
We'll have Shane put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
I just say these things. I have no idea how any of it happens.
I don't know.
Comment below.
Shane will make it happen.
Shane can do it, yeah. But email me first or just show up. So, yeah.
And there has to be some... I pray about it too. Is this how God wants to use what I bring to the table? And I think God is always looking for those, oh, here's somebody who wants to do something for me. Let's get them.
Yep.
Versus...
So if you feel that prompting, show up, email, yeah.
One thing that surprises me always is... you go into some place and you kind of think, okay, this is what this is going to look like. You know, this is UGM. I'm going to sit on the floor. The kids are going to come pet him.
Union Gospel Mission.
Yeah,
they work with
the crisis shelter. And this is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to walk out. It never looks like that, you know? And I've told Stephanie this too. I work all day and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. I just don't want to go, but I do because it's what I do, you know? And then I can't believe how I feel when I leave. Like, oh my gosh, did you see what God was doing there today? And, you know, he recently went to a funeral. And so you think in your head, okay, I'm going to be in the lobby or I'm going to be here and people are going to walk by and they're going to pet him. Well, we got to the funeral and the family had not the family, but another family had a boy who was autistic and they didn't want him to go in the funeral. And they said, can he just hang out with Isaac the whole time? So we went in a room, the whole funeral, and this boy, he was braiding his hair and, you know, I mean, so that was our ministry that day. So,
And that's a different funeral than the one you were mentioning.
Yeah, that was, yes.
Yeah.
So you just don't know. You know, when you say I'm available and God's like, woohoo.
Yeah.
You know, I know I shared this with you earlier, but I went to Spokane about a month ago and was able to spend the day with Julie, Isaac's
Our
top
dog.
And part of that was going to Starbucks and it wasn't a Star. Anyway, it was a coffee shop and Isaac was there. But then we left and went to Home Depot so she could show me how he trains. And 2 people came up and said, oh, I see your vest says, please pet me. What a beautiful dog. And that led to Julie saying, yeah, he actually belongs to Redeemer Christian. Here's his card because all dogs have a card. And this is what Isaac does during the day. And he's in ministry. And just open the door to here, if you're interested, here's our church and here's our information.
Mm-hmm.
That's so exciting.
Being able to open. Oh, I'm so excited to be able to see, again, let's get this ministry going to open it up for people that are wanting to be hands and feet of Jesus.
We talk about the dog is a bridge. It's a bridge for me to get to you in a comfortable way that you're comfortable with, and open doors. Now, because
really cool.
Honor Flight's not going to call and say, "Oh, you got 2 Christian people. You want to go on Honor Flight and help our guys?" Right?
Nope.
No, you got 2 Christian people. You want to come to 911 call center and help our people get through the... Doesn't happen, right?
And maybe it used to 50 years ago, and we can lament that, but that's not the world we live in.
Yeah.
And so we're going to adapt and adjust and meet people where they're at. And if Isaac helps us
With
meet
a
people,
dog.
fantastic. And maybe I'll say, I'm a pastor and I talk a lot, and people maybe think I'm an extrovert sometimes, but I'm not necessarily an extrovert. It exhausts me to be around people, and I crash on Sundays. And I don't think this ministry is just for extroverts. But I can imagine somebody here at home listening going, "Oh, I'm not really good at going to talk to people." It seems like this could be a really beautiful ministry for a relatively quiet, introverted person that they're not coming to talk to you at all. They don't care about you. They care about the dog. And that kind of takes the pressure off, I'm assuming.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on Monday night, I'll be showing a video, someone saying, I'm an introvert. I didn't know if I'd be able to say anything, but she walks away going, where did that come from? Oh, God's voice spoke through me, and I was able to say the right thing. But the main thing is just to be there to listen, just to open doors, and then be able to just ask some general questions and then let them talk.
If I'm going to come on Monday, the 18th, or some other Monday or whenever the next meeting is, can I bring a friend, or do I need to RSVP, or how does this work?
Just show up. We'll share the treats. We'll cut them in fourths if we need to.
Should people bring treats?
I have people signed up to bring treats already for at least the next 2 meetings.
You should have led with there's going to be food.
There will be food.
But no dog this time.
No.
But
no
we're
dog.
hoping Isaac can come by for another visit sometime.
Sure.
Although we were talking again in the car saying, I think we'll do some role playing. And so I probably will bring my dog just so that it can be there as a where should you be when you're listening to someone else who's petting a dog.
Okay, tell Lise
So
no
there
Isaac.
will be a dog and there will be treats. Why not come?
Yeah.
Alice has a pug. It's hard to imagine.
Just be a puppy party.
Be a puppy party. Little Zeke being, this comfort dog. He's just struggling to breathe like all pugs are.
I think all of our handlers have dogs in their house, except us, because we have Isaac. But so when we have barbecues in the summer, it's just a free-for-all dog fest of...
That sounds so fun.
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dog parks around too. I'm aware of them more and more. Okay, I see them more and more.
Sure.
And how many people get to connect with each other that way? Once again, seeing a dog allows conversation to happen. Cool.
Yes, yeah.
And those people that are listening, if they want to just be a prayer person too, I mean, cover the whole process with prayer and how God wants to use this dog. We need to come up with a pretend name. Like, do you have a name for your baby? You call it, not that it is.
Pastor Dan keeps saying baby Daniela or baby Daniel. So sure.
For the baby. We call our dog Isaac a lot. Our Isaac is what we say.
We do.
Sure. Yeah.
Future Isaac.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but baby Danielle is going to grow up with Isaac. It's going to be great. This has been awesome. Thank you, Stephanie, for being willing to step into this thing. And in some ways, you're doing the very same things we're asking other people to consider. You didn't have training for this. You didn't have a background, but you got a glimpse of what this ministry could be. You prayed about it, and you realized, I think God might be calling me into this. And if you're listening, maybe God is calling you into another part of this same ministry. So thank you for going first and being willing to lead. Gail, thanks for taking time. You came to see your friend, and I know you're catching a flight here, and yet you paused to share an hour with us to talk about ministry.
We would love more dogs in the Northwest. So, yeah.
So this has been awesome. Brenda, any final thoughts as we wrap it up here?
I think I mean, I'm excited for the potential of having a dog here and like what that'll be for our church and our community, but also just hearing you talk about the group, like your team and how you've grown closer together and the things that you do together. I'm excited to see that for whoever's going to be part of the team here.
They did come and help paint my house too.
Oh, did they?
I mean, you develop real friends and walk together in faith, and it impacts real life.
Yeah.
It will be. Yeah, I think it'll be an incredible team here at St. Luke's as we work together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outstanding. So, friends and listeners, viewers, thank you for taking time. Thanks for being part of this conversation. We hope and pray that it prompts some conversation in you. Maybe you live near a place like St. Luke's where you can get involved in a comfort dog ministry. Maybe your setting has nothing like this whatsoever, and you're interested in saying what would it look like. You can go to lutheranchurchcharities.com and find out more. Or maybe your church will never have anything like this, and you're asking yourself, how can I get involved? Where are there needs in my community? As Gail said, the dog is just a bridge, and there are other bridges available. So talk to a friend, talk to a coworker, talk to a spouse or a parent or a kid and say, how can we make a difference in our community? Where are there opportunities? Where are there needs that maybe we're in a unique position to love others well? So the K-9 ministry is one way to do that, but there are lots of others. So encourage you to have that conversation. And if you're in the St. Luke's area and you're listening to this right when it comes out, come by on Monday, March 18th at 6:30?
6:30
in the chapel. And if you're listening after the fact, stop by the office and say, when is the next meeting? I want to be a part of it. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.
That's the end of the episode, but we want to continue the conversation. Continue the conversation by sharing this episode, subscribing, or leaving a review. Connect with us on Instagram at 2414podcast. Connect with us through email at 2414@stlukes-church.com. Or best of all, keep the conversation going by inviting someone to process with you so that you can each walk away with more understanding that leads to more conversation as the journey continues. If you happen to be in the Seattle-Tacoma area of Washington, stop by on a Sunday morning and say hi. 2414 is a podcast produced by St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Federal Way, Washington. To find more content, discover upcoming opportunities to connect in person, or to support the show, head on over to stlukes-church.com. Thanks for walking with us.